Hello, everybody. Welcome to Time Capsule right here on the Games Done Quick Hotfix. It's the show where we travel back in time to your favorite years in gaming and showcase awesome speedruns of games released in the same year. I am your host, Smooth Operative, and tonight we are checking out two stellar games from the year 2019, Control, and later Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. But before we get into all the force-wielding action, let's cover a couple of announcements. First off, SGDQ 2023 is coming up May 28th through June 4th, live from Minneapolis, Minnesota. If you are interested in attending the event, registration is open from now until May 3rd. You can go to gamesdonequick.com for more information. And for those of you wondering, the SGDQ 2023 games list will be released on April 4th. So be on the lookout for that. And in the meantime, feel free to tweet us at gamesdonequick and let us know what you are hoping to see on the schedule. As for right now, I'm hoping to see a speedrun of Control. So please welcome our very first runner, Cass. Hello.
Hello, Tippy. I have some very good news. You're about to see a speedrun of Control.
Excellent.
So yes, guys, girls, non-binary pals, hello. My name is Cass. A good afternoon to you all from Australia. I'm currently doing this run on my lunch break. I'm going to run Control, any percent, no shield glitch, inbounds, current patch. Which is exactly what it sounds. We beat the game as fast as possible without going out of bounds, without using a particular glitch known as the shield glitch, and using the most current version of the game. I am joined by the wonderful Demonic Robots. Demonic, hello.
Hey there, how's it going?
Very well, very well.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining me. It was very short notice that I got Demonic on here, so I'm very, very grateful for him. But without any further ado, shall we get into it?
We shall.
All right. I'm going to hit Control here. I'm going to hit Continue here. Normally, we would start from a new game, but we do have something set up, which is reminds me, Tippy, I'm going to have two jobs for you throughout this run. One will be in about 5 minutes. So first of all, we're going to skip through these, and we've got the first skip straight away. This is called Water Cooler Skip, where it's just a bugged mantle that allows us to skip the first part of the game. You will see that I'm going to skip through cutscenes incredibly quickly. We have skipping cutscenes bound to mouse wheel and then mouse wheel bound to a different button. It's a legal script that we use in the run just to make things a little bit easier for everybody, to not have to use free scrolling mouse wheels, and to care for hand health. Otherwise, spamming space through a lot of cutscenes is going to be a little bit tough on your hands. But we play as Jesse Faden. Jesse Faden has infiltrated the Federal Bureau of Control, which is a secret government organization set on securing, containing, and protecting objects of power and altered items. We will get a little bit more into that, into the story a little bit later as we go. It's not the easiest game to understand, so hopefully I'll be able to fill you all in as much as possible. But here we found the director of the Federal Bureau of Control. He has met an unfortunate end, so we do what any of us would do, and we pick up the murder weapon. We have now been teleported to the astral plane. For those Brandon Sanderson fans that I saw in chat earlier, this is Shadesmar. It's a cognitive realm where the Board reside. The Board are an extraplanar entity that basically, they control everything. They communicate to us through what's called the hotline, which we're going to meet very soon, as well as the gun we've just picked up, which is called the service weapon. It can take many forms. We're not going to see any other forms in this run. But it is what causes us to become the director of the Bureau. So we came here for a job as a janitor's assistant, and now we're the director. So the fastest career progression in the history of the world. We're just going to take out these guys as quickly as possible. And one thing you're going to notice is that the service weapon does not have ammunition. It has a limited ammo pool, which will then refill over time. This is our first encounter with the Hiss, which is the main enemy of the game. And we got an energy boost straight off the bat. That is awesome. One of the main things about the game is the RNG elements involved with the mod drops or the upgrade drops. So there's two different types of drops. You've got weapon drops and you've got personal modifications. So the weapon mods will do things like decrease your reload speed, and then things like energy, personal drops will increase your mana or make your various abilities cost less. We've got the first mini-boss coming up right now, and this is a very major reset point, especially for new runners. So we're going to try and do this as quickly as we can. There we go. So this guy, we want to be as aggressive as possible and just empty the entire clip into his face and hope he dies. He didn't, but that's okay. And he got us an energy recovery and an ammo refund. Okay, so not actually too bad. Normally, I wouldn't bother with the ammo refund, but for the run, it's having an average mod for a marathon run is a hell of a lot better than having no mod at all. All right, Tippy, your first job, if you are ready, I need you to pick what outfit we're going to wear for the rest of the run. I know you've played this game.
Okay.
Do you know what outfit is your favorite, or would you like me to quickly go through them?
Honestly, I haven't seen like any of the outfits. I went through the game and I struggled and I beat it, but I don't know which outfit screams Jesse Faden is dynamite.
All right. Well, we have the civilian outfit. We have the janitor's assistant. We have expedition gear. We have asynchronous. We have director's suit, which is very fancy. We have candidate P7 or pajamas, as I like to call it. We have the office assistant, the golden suit, or the extra dimensional suit.
Oh, it's got to be the golden suit.
Got to be the golden suit. That is very dynamite. Which actually brings me to your second job. I'm going to need you to keep an eye on how well chat is behaving. Because if chat is super good, I'm going to have a reward for them at the end of the run. So,
all right, chat. Just stay cute, and you've got nothing to worry about.
Just stay cute, chat. Just stay cute. All right, we just met Emily Pope, who is she's a second in charge of research, and she's wearing an interesting little outfit called an HRA. We're going to learn about those as we go. Also, normally we would do a quit out there. It saves time in-game time, but for a marathon, it's probably a little bit slower, so I'm not going to do some of the quit outs. I will do a bunch of them that help us travel longer distances, but that one only saves us about 5 steps and would be longer RTA. So we're just going to take out these enemies as quickly as we can. I got a kind of bad spawn pattern here, but that's okay. One thing you will notice throughout the run as well is I'm going to be looking in different directions before and during combat. So this game does have spawn manipulation. So what spawn manipulation basically does is if I'm looking in particular directions, enemies will always spawn in particular directions. Doesn't always work. Well, it might always work, but I'm just not very consistent at it. But you'll see it. I've done it 3 times already, and I'll try and point out the next time that it happens. So now we're on our way to the first boss of the run, or the first real ability that we get through the run, which is called Launch. And hopefully you guys have decent game sounds, because the best sound in the game is coming up in about 5 seconds. So I'm going to be quiet. All right, no game sounds for you. I apologize for that. But all right, I can definitely get that sorted for you. Oh, we got first try ladder skip. Okay, that is called ladder skip.
Nice.
That is without a doubt the hardest trick in the game. I'm so happy to get that first try. I already know that half my community is going to be in chat right now celebrating because I've lost many runs to repeated fails of ladder skip. That was one of the parts I was most terrified of. So again, it's just another bugged mantle where you climb up a ladder and then get to skip a bit of that level, which is nice. So as much as this is not a glitchless run, it is for the large part, played as intended. There's only really, there's a tiny bits where we skip a few fights that we're otherwise not supposed to, and obviously we manipulate things with the camera manips, as I was talking about. I got hit there. That's all right. We're just going to avoid.
Essentially, the category is kind of considered what's called inbounds, meaning that we are forced to stay within the confines of the map. And I believe you're doing this on current patch. So because of that, there were a couple of glitches that were still inbounds that we utilized. However, for this category, pretty much we don't really have any glitches that are usable. for extended periods of time. Because most of the glitches that we utilize are out of bounds. So like things like clipping to get from point A to point B faster.
All right, and this is Tomasi. Hopefully he's going to be kind to me. This is another very heavy reset point of the run. Thankfully, most of the reset points are very early, and he was very kind.
Nice.
He was very kind, which is lovely. It can either lose a lot of time or the entire run to that guy. So, and now Jessie says, I have a feeling he'll be back. She's wrong in this run. In all bosses, we do see Tomasi again, but in any percent, we don't. So depending on which category you do will determine whether or not Jessie knows what she's talking about. So here we're about to take our first trip to the Ocean View Motel and Casino, which is sort of an extra dimensional location filled with puzzles. As any good motel is. This one is very simple. We're just going to ring the bell 3 times. It's going to open the third door. We're going to pick up a set of keys and then let ourselves back out. We later find out through collectibles that a different door down here actually leads to the Alan Wake world. We don't know any more about that. We're hoping we discover a little bit more in Alan Wake 2 or Control 2. But the door in the Ocean View Motel with a spiral on it does lead to Alan Wake's universe, or at the very least where Alan Wake has found himself. But now we're back in the astral plane. This is where we've interacted with the hotline, which is our direct line to the board and is how we receive a lot of lore throughout the game. The game does rely very heavily on environmental storytelling, so a lot of collectibles that you pick up throughout the world and a lot of little bonus cutscenes that you can choose to watch if you wish. I didn't watch any of them on my first playthrough because that's just not the type of player I am, and then regretted it because the game got to the end and I realized I had absolutely no idea what had just transpired.
Oh no.
Yep, that made things a little bit trickier. So this is where we are going to do one quit out, and while this is loading, I'm going to quickly switch on over and change my game source so that the audio comes through properly. Oh, I'm sorry, tech. This might break things a little bit. Game audio. Oh, it should be coming through. I wonder why it's not. But that's okay. That's okay. We'll jump back into the game. Okay, we'll do that. Change it to that, and then that, and then click the back to that. All right, great. We're back in. All right, so that was a quit out. That's going to teleport us back to the last control point. Control points are very similar to bonfires. If you've played any of the Dark Souls games where they serve as fast travel points, they'll restore our health, and they're basically just safe points throughout the game. We can also use them to level up as well. So we're going to fast travel back to Central Executive and go and talk to our dear friend Pope again. I can see someone in chat saying Polaris taking over the stream. Excellent joke. All right, so here the camera always spawns in the same direction, so we can just run backwards and then do a little camera spin there. That's actually it took me so long to learn how to actually do that. And now we'll have another quit out would be there, but we're going to quickly level up. I got to do this a little bit slowly because I often level up the wrong ability there, and then the whole run is dead. So we're going to try and not do that.
Gosh.
Oh yeah.
Also want to mention that the reason that the category is called any percent no shield inbounds, using the shield ability is the main way that we usually get out of bounds in any percent. However, there are ways to get out of bounds without the shield. It's just faster with the shield, which is why we use it so much. So there is a category that is still like filled with glitches and still utilizes out of bounds techniques. It just doesn't use the shield, which is why there's both those markers rather than just saying any percent no shield.
He can help me reach the override.
Thanks for clarifying that, Demonic.
Yeah, thank you. I also didn't know that. I've never watched a no shield run. Here's a little bit of an unintended strat. We're going to stick our hand through this window and shoot these guys. Remember that in about 5 minutes time. And then I'm going to stand behind this little metal grate on the ground. By doing this and killing the guys who are up here, hello, there you are, we're going to skip away from spawning. So normally there are 2 waves of enemies up here, and it takes like 20 seconds between the first one dying and the second one spawning. But by killing them from back there, the second wave just never spawns and we get access to the control point straight away. So that's a nice little skip. All you have to do is change what side of the camera it is. You can choose whether the camera sits over Jesse's left or right shoulder. You simply change the side the camera is on, spin around, your hand goes through the window, and you can shoot the enemies there, which is important.
Yeah, it also prevents a soft block there that can happen as well.
Oh, I didn't know about the soft block. Okay, that's great. All right. There's actually
and if
this...
you're also
Oh yeah, you go.
If you're also wondering, it is still technically considered inbounds because it is a paper thin material, which is why we allow like clipping through to shoot through. And technically, Jesse's model also isn't really going through it. It's just the bullets.
And it's funny that you say that right now because we're about to come to the second part where people could consider it an out of bounds. We are going to skip around some level geometry during the next section. This was my first part of the game where I realized that things were kind of messed up. But fun fact, on my first playthrough, I went through the entire game without getting this ability. And it wasn't until I watched somebody else's gameplay that I was like, hang on.
Sorry.
Yeah, the game
that's a 2% rate, by the way.
The game does literally everything to draw your attention to this room, to the point where Jesse says, "What's down there?" And there's bright red flashing lights, but nope, I missed it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to jump off here, dash 3 times, get boosted up by these moving platforms, and nice. There is a death plane there that... Oh.
Yeah, so the reason that is also allowed is because it is technically clipping into objects, and because it's clipping into an object, we allow it because it's technically not clipping out of bounds.
And there is like a somewhat intended way to do that, but without having to do the clipping. But because you never actually enter the geometry, you still stay within the bounds. That area to the left or the right of the intended route is still considered inside the map. So it is allowed, which is lovely because that saves like, what do you reckon, Demonic? Like 30 seconds from doing that the intended way?
Probably like maybe closer to 15 to 20, but still a worthy chunk of time.
And we missed the elevator skip. There is a little skip here that you can fall down this gap in the wall before the elevator comes too high up, which saves you having to take this little 5-second ride down the elevator. We do have that backup that you just saw there where I can just fall faster than the elevator. It's difficult because on elevators you lose the ability to jump, which is going to become a little bit relevant later as well. So this is where we meet Arish, well, he's sort of the head of security now, although he doesn't know it. We're going to activate another control point because we're going to need to teleport back here a little bit later. And I'm also going to take this opportunity to level up again really quick. So we're just going to go to 3 launch here, which is going to make our launch a little bit more powerful and allow us to one-shot some enemies that are coming up here.
If you notice, a lot of the enemies will have numbers above them. That's going to be their level. This game has like a soft RPG system where you quote-unquote level up by like getting stronger weapons, getting stronger mods for your abilities and things like that. And they can actually get pretty high up, and we're usually under-leveled in the run. So because of that, a way that we kind of make it for that is we just throw all of our points into launch, and it becomes a very powerful ability because of that.
Yes, I see a lot of people playing this game casually. Whenever I see someone doing a first-time playthrough on Twitch, I'll generally pop in and just like see how they're going and make sure they're enjoying the game because it's important to me that people like the same things as me. But it's something that someone always says. They're like, "Oh, I can't believe how overpowered launch is," and it's like, "Oh, you have no idea." Does this run include the mushroom part of the story, or is it skipped? No, that is skipped, Subaru. The mushroom part, although it is a brilliant part lore-wise, it is a little bit too out of our way, unfortunately. We don't complete anything other than the main story quests. In this particular run, there is an all bosses category that does head down the mushroom area, but thankfully we don't have to do it because they are enemies that are very strong. And don't die to one launch. So we don't like to fight enemies that don't die to one launch. So we're just going to do a little skip around here. And now we're going to harness our inner Keegan Murray. We're going to shoot this from a long range. Nice. Lock that in. And now we're going to go clear some goop out of a drain. So next time your partner gets their hair stuck in the drain and you have to clean it out, just be thankful that it's not sentient. as this one is.
This part was so hopelessly confusing for me.
And I think it's only made worse by the fact that by Artie. Artie's just talking about, having caught it with its paw its bear claw in the fish trap, and it's just like, Artie, please, I'm confused enough as it is without you having to make things worse with your Finnish colloquialisms. So my chat likes to count how many times I miss those shots. It's quite frequently. I'm not the best aimer, and this game does not help by having quite a large amount of bloom. There we go. Wait, did that go in?
Nothing more satisfying.
Yes, it did. Wonderful. All right, cool. So we can quit out again here, which will send us back to the control point we unlocked earlier, and then we're going to do a quick, fast travel back to the center of the power plants, which is super convenient as we have to now head in the opposite direction. It feels really weird doing a marathon run and not telling you that there's time for donations. I'm just like, in my head, I'm just like, all right, this will be a good time for some donations, but no.
No, you know what? It's a good time for me to say and post in the chat that if you are enjoying the run, make sure you follow our runner and as well as our commentator, Cass92 and Demonic Robots. I posted links in the chat, no excuse.
Thank you, Tippy. Thank you very much.
Of course.
All right, we've got a little bit of a manip here. If I dash just on the other side of this line, the room's going to shake. If that room shakes any later, that battery falls out, and then I have to spend time putting it back up. But by dashing or getting to that point and dashing when I do, we trigger the dash. We trigger the sort of building shaking early, so we get to skip that part. And now we're just going to put some batteries into some holes without hopefully dying. Nice. We're going to turn on this elevator, and remember this elevator in about 15 minutes time. And when I stuck
that's actually a pretty big time save.
Huge time save. And in this room here is where we shot those guys. When I stuck my hand through the window and shot those guys and they all fell to the ground, that actually causes them to despawn. So normally I would enter this room and there would be a fight of maybe 5 or 6 enemies in here. By shooting them and making them fall early, they then despawn, so I don't have to fight them, which is very nice. All right, fast travel back to Central Executive. We go see Pope once more. It's my favorite part of the run, going to see Pope. My chat and I will often argue as to who is our favorite character out of Jesse and Pope, just because they're both... Well, I mean, one's the sweetest bean and is a scientist. One is the sweetest bean and is a force to be reckoned with. And it's just whichever way you like to go.
True.
So we're going to see Pope here.
And you lifted the
Skip through these cutscenes. And we're off to go meet Marshall. So I need to level up again here. We go to 5 launch here for a very specific reason. There's one enemy in particular that if we don't go to 5 launch, it takes 3 launches to kill it. And it's one of the most frustrating enemies in the game. We'll see it very, very soon. I just went to the wrong section. That's okay. That's okay.
I'm curious, Cass. What is it that got you interested in running Control?
Well,
in the first place,
it's I actually randomly, I've been a big speedrun fan for years. I've watched marathons since 2015, I want to say, and it was only a year ago maybe that another runner by the name of Nico with a C did a marathon run of it, and it just looked of this category as well, and it just looked so fun. And he'd uploaded a tutorial, and I was like, "Look, this is a game that I really enjoyed, and I think I could play through multiple times." Then I started learning the run. I was like, "I don't think I want to play through this multiple times." But hey, we're still here, so it's
that you are.
It's just it's a really beautiful game. It's one of the. And casually, if you haven't played the run, I am really glad that we do skip all of the cutscenes because casually, if you haven't played it, it's just, there is no game like it. So I honestly cannot, did I get that? I did. Oh, wow. I cannot, express enough how fun and how powerful you feel playing this game. It is hard, and this is something I should have mentioned earlier, there's no difficulty setting and there's no difficulty adjustment. So you are constantly playing on the hardest difficulty all of the time. Sometimes the enemies are, stormtroopers, and they won't hit you ever. Other times they're Legolas and they won't miss you ever. And it can create for some really, really interesting runs where, you know...
One of the things is you can actually get headshot in this game. So you can, headshot enemies to do more damage, but they can do the same thing to you.
Correct. And we do have a super quick photosensitivity warning. If you are sensitive to flashing lights, please look away. I will describe what's happening and give you a heads up when you can look back. But basically here we've got 2 batteries and 2 battery sockets while we're in a room with what's called a hiss node. Basically, it's a ball of debris that flashes and screams at us. There's no way to kill it, so we actually have to lock it in a room, which we have now successfully done, and you can look back. That's going to happen once more in the run, so I'll give you guys another heads up when that is going to happen. But this little glowing ball of beauty is are they just called hiss balls, Demonic?
They are called. Let me find out the name really quickly.
Or is it cluster?
But they're. Yes, it's cluster.
Hiss cluster, yes. And they are incredibly frustrating. They will heal all enemies in the vicinity unless you kill them first. And their healing rate is generally much faster than your damage rate. So they can cause a lot of problems. We're just going to take the 6 guys out down here. We're going to jump up this. We're going to jump up this. Thank you, Jesse. We're going to jump across here, pick up this couch. We're going to take out these guys first because otherwise they spread out and it's really hard to chase them down. We're going to take out this guy. And now we're going to try and do what's called a pull through. So with launch in this game, the projectile that you are grabbing will actually do damage on its way to you as well. So you can do your damage with the launch twice using the mana of only, or the energy of only one launch. So it's a really, really effective way of dealing with enemies when you do have a limited energy pool in order to do your launches. Being able to do damage twice at the same time is really, really helpful. So, also, sorry, Demonic, I think I kind of cut you off there.
Oh no, you're good. Also, another thing in current patch, if you are playing this casually and you find the game to be a little too difficult, there are I don't want to call them accessibility options, but there are kind of like an assist mode where you can go to the options and you get to run things like one-shot kills or invincibility and things like that. Those are not allowed in the run on current patch because they're kind of considered like cheats almost, since they literally let you just one-shot everything with invincibility.
Marshall, especially. Does she know?
Also, this is probably the strangest thing in the Federal Bureau of Control. This elevator panel only has 3 buttons. And I just don't know why you would only have 3 buttons. Oh, right, I can dash here, can't I?
Everything in this building is not exactly as it seems.
Well, okay,
so.
you make a very valid point there.
If you open up the mini-map, you actually see that the elevator is also going sideways instead of up and down.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts.
There you go.
Which, I mean, the map in this game is probably the hardest thing to understand because it's just not very well laid out. I think it's the only thing in the game that is not, like, crafted with love is the map. And I don't think I ever used it on my casual playthrough just because it confused me more than it directed me on where to go. But that being said, I'm also no cartographer, so... All right, so we've got another spawn manip here. If I keep looking forward, with luck, all the hiss... I just call them boomers. I don't know what their in-game name is, but they're these guys who go boom. They will all spawn in front of me, and it just makes it way easier to track them all down. With luck, wait, was that all of them? No, there we go. With luck, I'll actually get to save some of the ranges here as well, as they can be helpful in this next little mini-boss fight. So I'm going to do a quick check here, make sure we don't have any better mods. I'm going to quickly chuck that on.
Yeah, they're also called hiss charged.
Hiss charged. Thank you. I very recently did a 100% playthrough, reading all the collectibles for my chat because everybody wanted to know the full story. And I learned so much about the game, like the fact that the hiss... Oh, what are they? Now I've forgotten what they're called. The ones that turn invisible. You know which ones I'm talking about.
Distorted.
Distorted, thank you. Oh, hello, we just got an energy renewal. Love that. We love that. That's one of the best mods you can get. So now
you also got a good personal mod as well.
Oh, did I? See, this is great having a second person here to watch what I get. I always miss half the mods that I pick up, so let's just put that on as well. Oh,
Yeah.
oh no, I just
Yeah,
picked
you
the
have
wrong one again. There it is. There it is. We got it. We got it. Also, I got to set the camera up in a particular way there. This is one of 2 instances where the camera gets locked as soon as this cutscene ends. And it happens at really frustrating times. So if you set this up properly, you don't actually have to run at an awkward angle. I mean, it's only for like 2 seconds. The other one happens for like 10 seconds, and it's a lot more annoying. But I'll point that out as well when it happens. So,
These HRAs. Sounds like Darling built them.
all right, so we've got our first little puzzle here. Thankfully, the puzzles are always the same, so we just memorize the keybinds. And then, second fun fact about about my casual playthrough. I spent more time on this puzzle in my casual playthrough than it takes me to beat the entire game now.
We need to get the HRA machine.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Replaced a couple
Hey,
of
you know,
spark plugs,
baby
but-
steps.
Baby steps. That was, this puzzle, I have this like weird thing where I refuse to look up puzzle solutions. I have not finished many games because I've just gotten stuck on a puzzle. And this took me, I think, almost 2.5 hours. Like, to the point where I had to stop, go do something else for an hour, and then come back to finish it because I was just getting so frustrated with it.
I still don't know the intended way to do this puzzle.
Yeah, we have it routed in a way
Just
where...
memorized it.
Yeah, we just have a way routed out where for all except the first one, we only have to press enter and escape and we're good. So thanks to whoever routed that out for me. All right, another quit out here that's going to send us back to the... that's going to send us back to a control point. We're going to teleport again to the room, central executive. This time we're not going to go see Pope. We are just going to run straight to the elevator this time and go to... Actually, I'm going to level up before I go anywhere. 2 energy, 1 health. And we're going to run straight to the elevator. I can see people in chat saying that it also took a lot of time for them as well. And I'm so glad that we are all in solidarity together with that dumb puzzle.
I don't totally remember the puzzle. Like, it was a while ago when I played this, right? It came out in 2019. I played it when I was new, and I am looking at some of the areas like, I don't remember that part.
Yes, no, that was me the first time I got to the merry-go-round horse. I was like, oh, I don't remember this part at all. And then sure enough, I was able to go super speedy after that. I was like, oh, that makes sense. And it's really unfortunate because that is such a nice room as well, like with the rippling walls. It's one of the first rooms that I think if you do find it when you're supposed to, then it's one of those first ones that makes you really realize that, you know, this game is different. Like, this game is different. If you hadn't figured it out already, that room will show you that this game is different. All right, so a lot of the movement that you will see me doing as well is about energy management. So currently, for example, I think I can dash about 5 times before my energy runs out. We want to always save a little bit of energy because it causes the bar to recharge a little bit faster. Again, kind of like Dark Souls, where you don't use all of your stamina when you are running. So it's basically going to be about using energy as efficiently as possible until I get to a point where, you know, I can't dash, or it would be silly to dash, just so we give time for the energy to recharge. So here's another puzzle. This one's kind of a find the difference or spot the difference puzzle. Room 1 and room 2 have the same objects, but they're in different spots. We just we move the radio, we straighten the painting, we change the vase to the other side, and then that allows us to come into the third room, pick up the keys, and exit through the same door again. These get gradually more and more complex, but thankfully they are the same every single time so that we do know how to do it. Oh, there we go. And now we're just going to skip across this little ravine. I call it little, but it's monstrous. This endless ravine up to my favorite little movement part of the entire run. This just makes you feel very cool when you can pull it off without stuffing it up. So we're going to jump up here, we're going to jump up here, we're going to dash in here, dash here, and then if we jump and dash through this window, we get a little speed boost. And that just feels really nice to pull off. And now we've got another fight with shielded enemies and non-shielded enemies. Basically what we want to do is we want to use our bullets on the non-shielded enemies and our launchers on the shielded enemies. Enemies with shields are resistant to our bullets. So we want to just take them out as quickly as we can with our launch, and then shoot down the rest of them.
Managing like your ammo and your energy bar is like probably the biggest differences between like run times for this category, because this category for the most part is going to be like doing these combat encounters as quickly and as efficiently as possible.
And it is. It's something that every now and again I figure out like new combinations of, if I have these two mods, I can shoot this many times before I need to stop, or I can dash this many times before I need to stop. And then knowing how many times I can dash in which room based on how much energy I have. And it's just, there's a lot of things always going on with these runs, not to mention the RNG of like the enemies and the drops that you do get. So this is our first Hiss Distorted. I just found out that they actually wear high heels, which is kind of cool. They're kind of dressed up as ballroom dancers. So it's good to know that the Hiss also have some style.
That's interesting. Did not know that.
It's very hard to see unless you're in photo mode. There it is. There it is. So normally we want to be able to kill that in a single cycle. If it disappears, it's a time loss. But again, that requires you to nail those pull-throughs that I was talking about earlier. And I did see somebody ask about leveling up the launch. So leveling up the abilities, especially launch, reduces the cost of launch and causes it to do more damage. So that's why we level up launch as far as we go. As well as we level up energy, because that obviously allows us to have more quote-unquote mana. And we level up health once just to be a bit more stoic. That's not the word I wanted, but you know what I mean. Also, the elevator that we hit earlier that I said, remember, in 15 minutes, we're now going to take it. So this elevator, normally we would have to wait for, but because we brought it up here when we cleared the first area, we don't have to wait. So this is where I like to practice my circle pitting. Little known fact is that Jessie actually has tickets to Gojira after this. So we're just practicing our circle pitting for the time being. And she's very veteran at it, so we don't have to practice for very long. And then we're going to do some quick little dashes here. This is one of the other parts I'm really scared about, because sometimes Jessie just does not mantle for me. So we're going to dash here. Fantastic. And then here. Okay, we did it. We didn't fall. We didn't fall to our deaths.
Nice.
That's...
Something that's kind of not noticeable when he's doing it is that when you're dashing, you can't really buffer the inputs. So if you click it a little bit too early, like a frame or two too early before you're like the game lets you do another one, it'll basically just eat the input, which can make you lose a lot of height. And in some cases, like that one right there, it is very bad if you lose distance or if you lose height.
Yes, the game, it is very much a game of rhythms. It's you've got to make sure that you're dashing at the right time. Like Demonic said, you can't spam it. You've got to kind of wait until the cooldown, there's like a soft cooldown almost that resets. And it's the same with pulling the light switch you see when I go in, or really interacting with anything that you have to interact with multiple times in a row, whether that be the light switch or the bell inside the Ocean View Motel. It's sort of, you can't spam it. You've really got to have your timing down. And it can be a very, very easy way to lose, a second or two here and there, but it happens so often throughout the run that those do add up. And sometimes those seconds matter. I don't know if Demonic knows this, but he and I are less than a second apart on the leaderboards for this category.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You're at 110. I'm at 110 and 79 milliseconds.
Wow.
So it's those seconds count. Those seconds count. Oh, all right. We just took a rocket launcher there. Hopefully we're not going to take another one. We're not. Fantastic. Okay, you saw me wait a little there before quitting out. Sometimes you can't quit out straight away. You have to wait for the mission text to update. But here we're quitting out again. We're heading back to Central Executive, but we are not going to see Pope again. Unfortunately, we'll only go and visit Pope once more throughout the entirety of the run. But don't worry. In the post game, there's lots of Pope content. All right, fast travel back to Central Exec. If you can't tell, I'm used to just running in a particular direction as soon as the game spawns in. And sometimes I forget that I'm supposed to fast travel. And no Morrowseer, there are no famous SCP monsters. I mean, there are SCP monsters, but they're all original to the game. And unfortunately, we don't really get to see a great deal of the monsters in the game. Like the bosses that we fight are all kind of just Hiss infected people from within the Bureau. There are some really cool bosses within the game. I think the first time I ever encountered the Former inside the fridge was one of my favorite moments of the game. And I think anyone who's...
and that was tough.
It was. Yeah, he's not forgiving. That is my favorite part to watch people do casually. Because he's such a cool boss, and you know the mystery surrounding him is just one of my favorite parts about the game, I think. Whoops. Sometimes you just dash into walls as well. Here we're gonna dash through these guys. We've got our so many clocks correct. All right, we're leveled up to a point where these shield guys die in one launch and one shot. So that's a really good way to do it. And then we're gonna level up as soon as we unlock this control point. That was a very poor management of my resources. Game, please. I'm one shot from dead right now. I need to get, there we go. All right, we're good. Whew. That was dangerous.
Yeah. That's probably a good time to mention that this game has the way that you heal and your health bar works is that you see all like those little blue marks on the ground. That's actually health, which is dropped by enemies when you do damage to them. So the game rewards an aggressive playstyle. The way that your health works, however, is the game has a one-shot prevention mechanic where if an enemy is going to do 110% of your HP, it'll do 99 and put you at a vulnerable state. And if you take damage in that vulnerable state where your screen is like surrounded by a red glow, then you die. So we use that to our advantage a lot, especially later on, to avoid just getting killed by an enemy immediately.
All right, here I'm gonna put some shots into those guys, which seems unnecessary, but what that does is it puts me into a combat state. We're about to enter the Ocean View Motel again, and you can't dash during the Ocean View Motel segments. However, if I enter the hotel in a combat state, I should be able to dash. So if I've done this correctly, we have 3 pulls of the lights. I've stuffed it up, but that's okay. So here we're going to hit this 3 times, go to the third room. The third room's painting is upside down. Also, the first room is upside down. So if we flip this painting, the room flips upside down, or the room flips right way round, which allows us to reach the keys. So we're going to run in there, grab that, and out we go again. And now we're going to enter the Panopticon. So the Panopticon is a really awesome area of the game. It's basically the quote-unquote prison area where they contain all of the objects of power and the altered items. Of course, since we're currently being invaded by an extra-dimensional entity, things have gotten a little bit messed up. So most of them have escaped. But there are things like, possessed flamingos, or a fridge that if you look away from it, it eats you, or a television that floats around the room, and if you touch it, you gain the ability to float around the room.
Something went wrong with the
Sorry, Kid Midnight. Normally I give a warning about the jump scare there, and I just completely forgot. So we practice our circle pitting again, and we also, everybody get ready to say hi to Bob. There is a boomer hanging out here. He's the elevator operator. We've named him Bob. He's the reason that these operators are still functioning, despite the fact that the whole bureau is basically shut down. Hi, Bob. Bye, Bob. He's off to do some maintenance.
Hi.
He's got some scheduled maintenance. We're also going to say hi to Philip as we run past. Philip is currently on fridge duty, which means if he takes his eyes off the fridge, he dies. There he is. Sadly, we're not going to help him. But the good news is he stays alive if we don't help him. If we try to help him, things go wrong. So we're going to avoid that. These guys can often get in my way, just like that. And now we're just going to try to avoid all these enemies. Hope that we don't get shot by a rocket launcher here. I can hear it. No, okay, we're good. He hit the wall.
You actually shouldn't be able to get hit there. So that used to be a thing for legacy runs, where if you enter in this cutscene, sometimes a rocket launcher will actually be able to hit you and do damage. However, they did a devs react of this game where Brian Otto did a run, and they saw that that could happen, or at least like it could get you near it, and they went, oh, I thought we fixed that. So in current patch now, they did a fix where the rockets will despawn if you hit that cutscene. So that actually can't happen in this version, thankfully.
Well, I hate to tell Remedy, but it definitely can still happen. My PB gets hit by a rocket there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I might be just before I hit the cutscene, but it is while I'm running into that room, yeah. Yep.
Interesting.
Right, that's really funny. And admittedly, it is incredibly rare. Like, it probably only happens maybe 1 in 100 runs. But yes, it has happened. This is the other area where the camera gets locked, so I'm not intentionally running at a weird direction there. That just locks the camera in place. I didn't level up to 6 launch. Oh, this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. All right, this guy's going to fall. We're going to launch there. We're going to launch there. These guys actually stay alive now because I didn't go all the way to 6 launch, which is a little frustrating, but that's okay. It's just going to make this fight a little bit harder. I've done this enough times that it shouldn't matter. All right, I think that's all of them. I think maybe 1 or 2 might have fallen. Yep, there's one right there. Wonderful. And this is Salvatore. Salvatore is a huge barrier for new runners, just because he is, you have to, like Demonic said earlier, you have to be very aggressive in this game. And this is one of the areas where it pays the most to be aggressive, because you can take quite a bit of damage quite easily. But he does drop health as you fight him. So that was actually really good. That was actually really good, considering I'm technically under-leveled here. So now...
Yeah, you made quick work of him. Goodness.
Nice.
Now we have touched a TV, or a babysitter, as the board calls it, and now we can fly, because control. So we're going to do another little skip here, which we can just go to maximum hover, and then dash across this empty space, and land right... Oh, I almost jumped off the edge there. That would have been funny. And we just get to skip pretty much the whole level, which is nice. Oh, goodness. Now I've got to level up to 6.
What's the max amount of like dashes you can do before Jessie will fall? 6 or?
It completely depends on, well, she will begin to
you have.
fall from levitate. She'll begin to fall slowly. I think it's after about 5 seconds of levitation.
Okay.
And just however many times you can dash within that time frame. But yeah, without running out of energy, the levitate thankfully does not cost energy. It's just an ability that you gain. So first of all, we're going to jump in here. We're going to level up to 6. Fantastic.
Okay, cool.
Here we've got another little unintended skip where we're going to use a piece of obstructed geometry to give ourselves a second boost. So normally when you levitate, you cannot levitate again until you touch the ground. And there's a little girder that sticks out just far enough for the game to register Jessie on flat ground. You can't stand on it, but if Jessie clips it, the game's like, yep, cool, your position's reset, and then it allows you to fly up again. So that's a nice little time save there that actually took me way longer than it should have to learn. All right, so we're approaching the sort of last 2 missions of the game, I would say. My split for this is called Probably Dies here, because there is one room in particular that I am very bad at, and we're going to see if I can do it without a death. I mean, we're deathless so far, which is pretty great. Central exec.
On categories where we're allowed to go out of bounds, this is one of the quicker, easier missions because we can essentially fly from the beginning of the map to the end really easily. However, this is inbound, so we actually have to go through it in the intended way, which has a lot of very difficult fights. I would say that this is probably one of the, maybe like the second hardest mission in regards to combat.
Definitely. Yeah, there's 3 fights in particular in this whole area that can just absolutely go so wrong so quickly. Luckily, I've got some pretty decent mods before we actually enter what am I doing? I'm going to see Dylan. Before we actually get to the fights, I'm going to just do a quick mod check and make sure, any mod checks in chat? I'm going to do a quick mod check to make sure I've got the best possible mods on.
This is also the longest dialogue skip in the game.
Correct. He talks a lot and none of it makes sense. But, you know, I would much rather us not have to hunt for Dylan, but, you know, we don't get to make choices for Jessie. She just... We just get to facilitate her choices. So I might do... trying to think when the best time to do the... I might as well just do it here. I might as well just do it. Oh, no, look, we'll wait. We'll wait until to see if there's anything more that I pick up. So we're going to quickly fast travel back to logistics. And then I just saw someone talking about the load times. Yes, the load times aren't spectacular. I mean, this is also to do with my PC. I mean, I don't have the best PC on the market, but luckily we do use in-game time. We use in-game time instead of RTA. So me losing time to these load screens isn't the end of the world. You guys just get to look at my face instead for a little while. Or, you know, a big swirling pattern. Whichever you'd prefer. All right, so this is the first, in fact, you know what, I'm going to do it here. I'm going to do it here because this is the first room that can get a little bit hairy. We really don't have any, like, decent energy mods, so I'm just going to chuck on launch efficiency there. I'm going to kill this guy because he sneaks up on me sometimes.
Find new prime candidates.
All right, so we're going to pick this up. We're going to hit both of those guys. We're going to hit him. We're going to fall. We're going to hit him. See, I'm already almost at 1 health. So he's just dodged on us. What we want to do with these sort of levitating guys is we want to bait out their dodge as quickly as we can so that we're able to then just launch into them. Their dodge goes onto a cooldown, so if we shoot them until they dodge... Whoop, hello. If we shoot them until they dodge, we then can launch them and be guaranteed that it's going to hit. Because the guys that hover, whether they be Tamasi guys or... well, I call them chair Tamasis. Again, they have an actual name. There's the hiss ball, which is now dead. Fantastic. So we can start working on this guy. And now you're seeing here how bad of an aim Jessie can be sometimes, where depending on, no matter what I'm looking at, she will pick up something on the other side of the map and throw it at the enemy when there is very obviously a wall between us and them. So this should be the last one. Okay, Deathless. I'm very happy about that. I'm very happy about that. This is where there's a big story beat, but I'm not going to explain it in case anyone wants to play this game casually. And I'm going to talk over Jessie's dialogue.
That's the place to start looking.
All right. This part actually gave me a massive fright the first time I played it as well. We're going to hit this elevator, and there's going to be a boomer inside the elevator, which I was not prepared for. Whoops, I did that wrong. There we go. But if we hit him and then dash, the dash does have a very small amount of iframes, and the iframes keep us safe from the explosion. I'm not going into this fight with full health, which is a little bit scary, because there's some seriously strong enemies in this section. But again, we're just going to play as aggressively as we're able. That launch efficiency is actually doing a lot of work here, which is awesome. Okay, that was amazing. That was quite possibly the fastest I've ever done that fight. That was... Ooh. Oh boy.
You're on a roll, Cass.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Apparently. And sometimes in this, I've had it happen twice before, that sometimes I can activate the control point before the enemies have finished spawning, which then causes me to die during the cutscene because they can still attack me while I am completely unable to move. We also have the possibility of some more flashing lights here. So again, if you are sensitive to flashing lights, please take a moment to look away. I think I've been able to avoid it, so we should be okay. Yeah, we're all good. You can look back. Don't stress. We're going to hit this button here, and now we just get to take a nice little casual stroll into this room here. We're on a bit of a timer here while this giant turntable rotates. I got absolutely useless mods from that, which is okay. These guys are just waiting for me to come out, and I know that Gen Z love bottle flips, so we're just going to... Hey!
Nice. Very good.
There we are. There was even a dab in there for you, Gen Z. I hope you're happy with it. God, my chat is going to absolutely destroy me for that. And here we have another hiss distorted. Again, I'm going to try and kill it in one cycle. by hitting it with a couple of pull-throughs. I failed, which means it's going to disappear. Oh, did I just hit it? Oh, I'm out of mana. There we go. There we go. Bad energy management. Bad energy management. Luckily, we don't
those
have...
hits distorted are very scary because these are isolated incidences where we actually fight them for the most part. However, they are basically able to put you into a death state with relative ease. And when you're in the throes of combat against other enemies and they sneak up on you, they can cause a few problems, which is the case in the second Tomasi fight in all bosses.
Yep, I've done that fight once. No, twice. I've done that fight twice, and it went bad both times.
Yeah, they're very scary enemies.
But yes, luckily, I think we only have to face one more, and it's when we're reasonably overpowered. So it's not the end of the world. All right, we're just gonna hit that guy. I'm gonna be really quick here, otherwise he didn't come. There's a boomer there that blocks the doorway and can be a big problem. But now we're entering. I know America has a thing called Safety Town. Is that a thing where you guys learn to drive?
Let's see what
Safety Town?
No.
Okay. There's
Not that I know of.
There's a thing called Safety Town. I don't know what state it's in, where it's basically like you drive little go-karts around a paper village. This is it. This is Safety Town, but in the Federal Bureau of Control. This is where FBC agents learn to drive their cars. I'm giving you incorrect...
That is in Ohio.
Okay, there we go. Ohio, thank you.
No, Ohio, okay.
Okay, there we go. See, I knew it was somewhere. How's that? An Australian knowing... I'm just going to stop talking while I do this fight. Oh my god, I'm just missing
These big
him.
guys can be very scary. They're one of the few changes. So there's actually only like 2 noticeable areas between current patch and legacy where the enemies act differently. And that's the very first enemy that you ever fight, his attack pattern changes. And then there's some enemies in the quarry that also change, but nothing too big. The biggest change in the combat, however, is going to be the access to launch 6 that we get on current patch, and also those guys. On legacy patch, you're able to break their shields in 1 single throw. However, in current patch, you need to use 2 of them.
All right, so this I'm gonna hand this over to you as well, Demonic, because this is the room where I die most often. So I'm gonna just concentrate.
So another kind of scary fight. You get a lot of enemies here, and this is where energy management comes into play quite a bit. You're gonna see Cass standing on this like pile of garbage. The reason that we do this is because it makes it so the hiss like exploding enemies are not able to reach you, and you can focus on the more dangerous ones. So what Cass is doing here is he shoots this enemy until they do their little dodge, and then he throws a couple of launches at the enemy to get him while his like dodge is on cooldown. And then mainly it's going to be cleaning up all these exploded guys and trying to do so without getting hit by them, because they can kind of chain react and kill you if you're not careful.
Oh my goodness! Pick a side, buddy. There we go. We got him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Main thing is like you're already on a timer waiting for that enemy to spawn. So as long as you kill all of them before the hiss chair guy spawns in, then you're good.
He just did not want to stand still. Okay. Woo.
That was a very good fight.
Lucratis, yes. Mabam is exactly where I learned about Safety Town from. Thank you for picking up on that reference. But yes, that went really, really well. I'm actually really happy with that. I have my times set to RTA right now, but it says I'm quite ahead in RTA, so we're gonna have to see whether that holds true once I flip over to in-game time, just to see how the run actually works. But so far, this has been a really good run. I'd be very happy with this as a run otherwise.
Are you having fun, Cass? That's the important question.
I am, Tippy. I am having a lot of fun. Thank you for asking, though. Thank you for double checking. All right, here we're going to level up levitate twice so that we can levitate a little bit longer. This fight can go very poorly as well if we don't get the right spawn pattern, but thankfully this machine gun guy has stayed upstairs. If he goes downstairs, things go really wrong. Also, this is called a Birds of Paradise. If any of you out there are indoor plant enthusiasts, that is the name of that plant. It's a Birds of Paradise. Very easy to maintain, very easy to
really?
keep. Yes. Not because the flowers look like emu heads, which is what I thought it was. Turns out they're supposed to look more like hummingbirds, but I imagined them the wrong way and thought they just looked like, the bird from Up. Kevin, I think his name is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Their heads kind of look like that. Yo, second
Oh,
rare
okay.
energy. That's awesome. All right, so now we reach the best part of the game, but we're not going to do the best part just yet. We're going to take a little detour before we do the best. We're going to do a little detour before we do the best part of the game. Unfortunately, we do have to play with licensed music off, so we don't get the full experience, but it's still going to be great.
I don't need to hear it to believe it.
Where am I going? Ventilation. Yes, are you having fun, chat? That is equally the most important thing. We are here for you at the end of the day.
Honestly, I've been watching chat because of what you said at the beginning of this run,
Ooh.
and I don't think a single person has been timed out.
Oh, amazing. Chat.
Everyone's being so good.
Okay, well, good, because that reward is coming up, chat. That reward is coming up. So, if you all want to say something real nice about each other as well, I think that's only going to earn more brownie points. All right, here we find out that Artie has gone on vacation. Artie is the janitor. Sorry, we actually haven't introduced him yet. Artie is the janitor and is arguably the most important person in the entirety of the Federal Bureau of Control. There's a reason we came here for the janitor's assistant position and get the director's position. There is some lore implications, I would say, that lays it out as though the director is the janitor's assistant. But it's in the nature of Control, you almost leave the game with more answers than you, in the nature of Remedy rather, you do almost leave the game with more questions than you get answers. But it is one of the most
It's kind of
beautiful
like
things.
Lost, where they'll answer a few questions along the way, but you're really going to have to do a lot of interpretation to guess what's going on.
It is very much like Lost, except that it stays good the whole way through and not just for the first half.
Right.
All right, here we have another puzzle. This one's a little bit different. This one, the first room is blocked by the clog from the drainage part earlier. And the clog apparently hates Artie's music. So we're going to tune all of the radios into Artie's song, which is then going to, if I've done it correctly, it's really easy to accidentally miss one of those. But if this rumbles, perfect, then the clog has just disappeared. We're going to run into the first room. We're going to pick up the keys. And this time, instead of going back to the main door, we're going to go into the janitor's closet. And then we're going to teleport back to Blackrock Quarry, which is where we were earlier, where we collected the Blackrock sample for Marshall. We're going to do some big cavern jumping here. I'm going to try and do this without having to land. Wow, I don't think I've ever been hit by him before. That was interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty rare.
And now we're going to do...
You and another runner, Ashley, both of you guys end up getting a lot of times where you get hit in this area, and I've never had it happen.
It's that's...
I remember one time. Oh, also I'll.
No, that's okay. Keep talking. I just needed to check the time.
Oh, okay.
It's 5:17.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I remember one time I was watching Ashley do a run, and what ended up happening is he was talking about how, sometimes he just gets hit by this guy randomly sometimes, and I'm like, that's never happened to me, and I have close to 1,000 attempts in this game. And he's like, yeah, I don't know why. And then sure enough, I watch him do it, and he does it in the same exact way that I do it, and he immediately gets hit. And I'm
That's
just like, oh,
so
well,
funny.
okay.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so here is when I said earlier about the game not letting you jump when you're on elevators. This cable car counts as an elevator. So what I need to do is I need to dash out onto it. I need to land on it, dash off, and then jump. There we go. Perfect. So what we're doing here is we're skipping this cable car ride. The cable car is very slow, and there's a lot of enemies that spawn. So we don't want to have to fight those enemies because it's just, again, we're pretty underleveled here. So what we want to do is we want to land here, There is a visual trigger here, but thankfully I know the time that it's going to be in about 20 seconds. We just get to wait here for 20 seconds. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to float out into the abyss and hit a trigger that we would normally hit while on the cable car. So we're going to go right now. In fact, I think it just went a little bit early. You're going to see the lights go really weird. No flashing, don't worry about that, but it's going to go weird, and then there it is. All right, cool. So that's the trigger. So now I'm going to land here. The game is going to think I took the cable car, and we're going to be able to progress. So this is where Artie took his vacation. Weird spot, but something tells me that, you know, as is the nature of the oldest house, which is the name of the building that we're in, although it is the Federal Bureau of Control's headquarters, the place itself is called the oldest house. In the nature of the oldest house, something tells me, you know, it doesn't actually look like this when he's down there.
Yeah.
All right, wonderful.
We also appreciate Ati being on vacation and still doing his job, because if work called me while I was like on a trip, I definitely would not be responding to them, even if they were taken over by an evil entity.
It's because he finally has a competent assistant in us. A competent
That
assistant with
definitely
a gun. And now we get to do the best part of the game. And don't worry, there is going to be music. It's just not the original music for the scene. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to get ground pound. Tolly, I hope you're here and you realize that I took it. I have one chatter in particular who I rely on to remind me to level up ground slam just there. Because without it, the next part becomes pretty much impossible. But welcome. I'm just gonna shut up and let you guys enjoy the wonderfulness that is the ashtray maze. If you've got music on, turn it up. Oh no!
That was a little scary.
That was very scary. All right, here we go. Getting. Oh no! Oh, I'm not going to be able to do it now. I'm going to have to do it the intended way. Actually, is this the right height? This might be the right height. Oh, I'm out of mana. Damn it. It's probably just faster for me to do it the intended way now, but oh well. Speedrun tech. No, all right, we're doing it. We're doing it the intended way. Okay, I thought it was actually a lot longer than that, but that's okay. That's okay.
Very good.
Okay. I got a little hairy there in the middle, but that's okay. And yes, Jesse, that was awesome.
The expedition in the landscape.
That is such a great part of the game.
What Darwin brought back.
All right, and now we're heading to the part that I am most terrified about. I did about 4 practice runs of this before getting in here today. They were all of this part because it's very, very probable that I will die here. But hey, we've gone deathless so far, so maybe we'll just maybe we'll get the whole deathless run, which I actually don't think I've ever achieved a deathless run before. Because even your PB's got 2 deaths, doesn't it, Demonic?
I think it does, yeah.
Yeah, no, mine does as well. So even the world record has a death in it. So it's just one of those games, unfortunately. I had to think about that for a second then.
I remember her from Ordinary.
Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3. That's how I remember it.
Yeah, I do it. Well, I do 3, 2, 1, but yes. All right. Also, fun fact, those of you who have played this casually, you don't need to pull these out. You can just shoot them and they come out. That was an excellent thing I found.
No. Why did you...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, anyone who's played this casually is going to know how tricky this part is. We're not going to kill any enemies. Actually, that's not true. We're going to kill 3 enemies. But we're going to try and do this while positioning ourselves so that the enemies can't shoot us. We're going to be as fast as we can so that they have to spend half their time running towards us. Yeah, this looks okay. This last one's going to be real tricky, though, because they're in a really bad spot. Jesse, please, run GDQ.
This is the most dangerous and biggest RNG section in the entire game.
Thanks to the run.gg, I now know that 80% of my runs reset at this split. But so far, so good. In fact, I'm actually going to take a second before I jump up there to pick up some extra health. And
yeah, once you get past the threshold mission, this is the run where a gross majority of the runners runs die.
Oh, I took a little too long getting here, didn't I? Oh boy, okay. So far, so good. So far, so good. This one's the most dangerous one. If I can get through this one, the third one is free. So let's just see how that goes.
Oh, that's rare.
That is very rare. I don't think I've ever had that happen. Classic GDQ luck, hey? All right.
He said the line.
He said the line.
You gotta have at least one moment on GDQ like that, and here we are.
Okay. This is... I'm not going to say anything, but this is going very, very well. Oh, spinny guys are behind me. That's not great. Let's go. All right. That's a Deathless Polaris.
Really nice. Good job.
I haven't died yet, right?
No, you have not.
Oh, amazing. And cool. Game over.
Ooh.
Hey, whoa. I'm not gonna pretend time because I don't want to scare tech like that. But you know, hey.
I was like, wait a minute.
Game over. Yay. Or we could do the old Brianado and just be like, oh yeah. So anyway, this game. Oh, what's happening? Which I'm actually
Maybe
really.
you should explain what's happening for those of
what's
us that do
happening
not know.
that's explaining. Well, I mean, you're about to see. Control Nuzlocke. Basically, so the creature that we just met, its name is Hedron. It's the reason that the people wearing those little devices on their chest do not get infected by the hiss. I'm not going to say any more than that. But that whole scene was basically the hiss trying to siphon the power away from that being. So no, Nick, don't worry. The credits don't count in the run. And as we can see here, the game kind of throws you through a loop where it gives you credits. I was very upset when I saw these credits because I was like, that's it? That's it? Like, that cannot be the end of the game. Thankfully, it is not the end of the game. Now we get to play Office Assistant for the rest of the game. So now it's basically just like a Sims-style game. We go to work and we just do menial tasks like copying papers, delivering letters, cleaning up coffee cups, that sort of thing. As you can tell, the Federal Bureau of Control drinks a lot of coffee and no one cleans up after themselves. So it is very much our job to do. Fun fact for those of you who have played this casually, you don't actually have to do all 3 tasks. You can just do the same task twice, which is what we're going to do here. We're just going to clean the coffee cups for 2 rounds. And then we're going to collect this mail tube and deliver it to the director. And there is one part of RNG in this entire run, in this entire section. It is one of the NPCs that spawns. Can be one of 4 potential NPCs. My community have named them. I can't remember what their names are, but they are named. So if you're from my community, I need to see your guesses as to who we're going to get in the spawn, and whether they're going to be floating, stretching, or just standing there. So I think it's Kenneth, Palula, Susan, and Jeremiah, I think were the names that everyone picked. Oh, that's all the coffee cups, so I can go get the mail again. So basically we're just stuck in an infinite loop right now. Again, very much like Lost. Spoilers. And Tippy, my coffee order is a flat white with 1 sugar, full cream milk.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was curious.
Which I believe is called an Americano at Starbucks, but we don't have those here.
I need to go inside.
Well,
Sadly, I don't drink too much coffee. If I do, it's like iced coffee with like a lot of cream to the point where it's basically not even coffee.
Trapped in here.
That counts. I mean, hey, you like a little coffee in your cream, and that's fine.
yeah, that's absolutely fine. Also, we got Jeremiah. We got standing Jeremiah, just in case anyone had that on their bingo card that we didn't create.
I will find
Just in
a way
case
to
anybody
send
created their own bingo card and put standing Jeremiah on it. First of all, wow, that was really impressive. And second of all,
I need my gun.
well done, check it off. All right, now we're back where we're supposed to be. Sort of. All of the floating bodies of previous FBC employees have been replaced with us. We have one more trip to the Ocean View Hotel and Motel and Casino. And Tippy, I need the judgment. Have chat been good?
Chat has been so good.
All right.
I'm so proud of everyone.
I am so proud of you, chat, and for being as good as you have been. In fact, would you say that chat have been dynamite?
This is what Dylan wanted.
I think they have been very
You think
dynamite.
they have been dynamite?
Yeah. That was like getting excited.
I can't dance, but this goes out to Dangerous.
Shout outs to Dangerous.
Nobody knew her name, but she turned up just the same. There was a knock on the door, a thump on the floor, and the party turned insane as she called out her name. And she walked in looking like dynamite. She said, "Now come along and boogaloo through the night." And by the way she's moving, well, dynamite, might she not? With all she's got the whole town lighting up dynamite. Nobody quite knowing what to do, wrong or right, but they all know Jesse is dynamite. They're right.
Funnily enough, that does have lore implications.
I don't know what.
Also,
Really?
if you are a fan of other Remedy games, that is Alan Wake and Max Payne right there.
Correct.
Oh, like Dr. Darling's dressed up as Max Payne and Alan.
No. Those are the
he's-
actual actors that play them.
He is
Oh,
the
God.
voice.
Okay.
That's the voice actor for Max Payne and the voice actor for Alan Wake.
Amazing.
Yeah, with this game, like all the voice actors have been in most of their other Remedy games that are this is kind of their like, I think they said that they wanted like an all-star cast, which I think they succeeded in getting.
Oh, very much so, very much so. And there's even points where the character that what's Jesse's character's name? Jesse's actor's name?
Courtney Hope.
Courtney Hope, where in one of the rooms you can see a picture of Jesse sitting with someone who looks very, very similar, is dressed almost identically to Courtney Hope's character from Quantum Break. So there is so many little links between the games. It's not even funny. This is another little skip that we're doing here. I should probably talk about it. Basically, we're skipping the entire first part of this. And if I do it correctly, we're going to land on the second island, and we're just going to be able to skip the entire first part of the fight, which cuts this down from about 10 minutes to about 5 minutes, if that.
Nice.
And now we've got our last hiss distorted, which is the invisible stingray-looking guy, or girl, sorry. And she's going to appear any second now. There she is. We got it. We got it. Okay, now we should... I've died to her like 2 or 3 times, but we should be totally fine for... Chat, my first ever deathless run of Control, which is wild.
Yeah, super good.
No, don't you dare. Sir, please. So the game basically just gives you maximum everything here. Like, you can definitely still die, but you kill everything so quickly that it's unlikely to happen. Like I said, I think I've only ever died here once when it wasn't as a result of me just falling off the map, which that's happened a couple of times. But you know, that's not a game's fault. That's a me issue. All right. In fact, I just pushed him off the map. Didn't even know that could happen. So the game just basically gives you it gives you max power, not to be confused with Max Payne, and you just absolutely wreck everything. This wall here exists because of speedrunners. Normally we would just skip past this. Is it in Legacy that you can just skip this whole thing? And
yeah, there's like a little hole in the geometry. Also, make sure you don't dash towards Dylan, because otherwise the game crashes.
I have only ever done that once. And yes, no, never again. And look, but right as we are approaching the end, I do want to give a massive shout out to Remedy Games. They actually waited until we had a working down patcher before patching out half of the issues. Time.
Wow.
Oh.
GG, Cass. Nice job.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Look at you, Deathless Run.
Deathless Run. Let me do a super quick check here to see what my IGT was, because I feel like that might have actually been... Yeah, that's a PB. That's a PB by a whole 30 seconds. So...
What?
That's great.
Yes.
That's great.
Look at that.
That's
all the
awesome.
little moments that have never happened before sprinkled in, and congrats on the PB.
Not to mention, that's including watching Dynamite and having you pick an item, pick an outfit. So unfortunately, it is not a little leaderboard legal run because I did use an outfit, but that's okay. That's okay. Demonic, you get to stay.
But it was worth it.
You get to stay above me on the leaderboard for one more run at least.
Portal's been closed.
Good to know.
Phone. But cool. Look, that's my time. I'm going to get out of here. Before I do, I obviously have a couple of super quick shout outs. Obviously to Demonic, thank you so much, man. You have, this was super short notice that I got you on here. And you are such a wealth of knowledge for the game. I even learnt things while we were running it. So that was just, thank you so much, man. You can find Demonic on Twitch, twitch.tv/demonicrobots, all one word. I want to give a huge shout out to the Control Speedrunning Discord. I have not been running this game for a very long time. And they have just been so helpful and so friendly. And it's just, if you have any interest in speedrunning this game, it's brilliant. And I honestly could not thank the community enough. I want a super quick shout out to the YouTube channel Gaming University. They have a whole lecture series on this game in particular, going really deep into the lore and what everything means and the symbolism. And I honestly wouldn't love this game as much as I do without them being. Without that playlist having existed. So, shout out to them. Shout out to my girlfriend Ella for always pushing me to submit to GDQ and improve myself. You're amazing and I love you. And I want to remind you all, I saw in chat earlier about someone saying that they wish they could learn these tricks during the Ocarina of Time run. And I just want to let you guys know that 9 months ago, I'd never speedrun before. I'm sitting here 9 months after my very first ever attempt, having been on Awesome Games Done Quick and now GDQ Hotfix. If you want to start speedrunning, just start, right? I didn't know anything when I first started. And you stick a timer on your favorite game and you start running and you're a speedrunner. Congratulations. And it's all uphill from there in a good way, not in a like it's hard to walk uphill kind of way. And finally, before I pass it back to you, Tippy, and we get on with some Jedi Fallen Order, we have a little tradition on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/CassXCII, that my chat would be very mad at me if I did not invite you all into. So it's a reminder of sorts, chat, that the world is a bigger, better, and brighter place with you in it. You're doing a wonderful job. I am super proud of you. And in case no one has told you today, you've got a great butt, a cute face, and I love you. So stay happy, stay safe. If you can't do either of those, then stay strong, because better days are coming. And they're just around the corner. I promise you that. So until we meet again, this has been Control. I have been Cass. You have been amazing. And I'll see you next time. Mwah.
Thank you so much for running this game for us, Cass, Demonic on commentary. We appreciate you being here so much. Chat, you were very good. We love that you were here for the run, and thank you so much for being here. But we are about to head to a quick break. But before we do, a shout out to all of our amazing supporters as well. Your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered here on the Games Done Quick Twitch channel do help support the GDQ hotfix. So please consider subscribing if you do enjoy your daily dose of GDQ. And if you'd like to be featured on this show in particular, you can always use the command !time capsule right here in the Twitch chat to submit your speedruns. So with that, we will be right back with Jedi Fallen Order. So stay tuned, my friends. All right, everybody, welcome back to the GDQ Hotfix. I am your host, Smooth Operative, and you are watching Time Capsule. We are all set up for Jedi Fallen Order, so please welcome our runner, Z Money Train. Hi, Z.
How's it going, y'all?
Pretty good tonight. How are you?
Pretty good. Yeah, we're just going to be doing Jedi Fallen Order on PS5, the unrestricted category. And it's the fastest platform because of a glitch that mutes the game audio but speeds up the cutscenes. And I'll show out how that works. But Pinash, you want to introduce yourself?
Hey everyone, I'm Panache, and I'll be doing commentary tonight for Z Money. You may remember me from AGDQ 2021, where I ran Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. A different category. Things have changed slightly since then. I did know PPC will be running unrestricted, as Z Money said, which will allow us to use PPC, which we'll explain once we get into the run.
Well, thank you both so much for joining us. Z Money, whenever you're ready, you can feel free to give us the countdown.
All right. Well, I'm just going to activate the glitch real quick just to kind of show you guys how that works.
Oh, for sure.
But we're not really sure what's happening, but maybe it's something with the PS5 SSD. But we know it's in other PS5 games. It's also in Miles Morales. They just don't have a reliable way of getting it to work. But something to do with app suspension. So if I just pause the game, and then I'll go into another app, like Spotify is one I usually use. When I go back, I might have to try it a couple times. And there we go. We're right off the bat ready to go. So once I'm able to move, we can start the time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right. And let's go.
I was wondering where we were going with that. Nice.
But yeah, so there's not going to be any game audio for the whole duration of the run, which is kind of a bummer. But unrestricted, we're gonna make the sacrifices we need to make for the better time.
Yeah. Unskippable
It's all good here.
cutscenes. So we're rolling here because we can't run yet. And we're going to see our first major glitch here. Z-Money, if you want to explain this since you found it.
Yeah, so that was a drop jump you just saw. It's just how it sounds. You're hitting drop and jump with a directional input. And coincidentally, there's a cutscene trigger right there that's tied to Cal climbing the ledge. So if we do a drop jump, we don't activate the cutscene. We can just continue on.
Yeah, unfortunately, that cutscene does not speed up. Some cutscenes in the game on PS5 with the glitch are not actually, it's basically like in-game rendered cutscenes. So we'll see some cutscenes where it'll be going really, really fast, and then it'll just like slow down, and then it'll go really fast again.
Yeah, we'll try to warn you guys when we're coming up on cutscenes, because some of them can kind of simulate flashing images, but
Yeah.
just because of how
Ernie?
fast they're going.
Going to utilize another drop jump here to skip a little breaking platform animation there, which he got first try. Huge. We tend to jump on these balance beams here just to go a little bit faster. All right.
Yeah, we'll use drop
So I'm
jumps
gonna-
a few more times on this first planet Braca, but not a whole lot throughout the rest of the run. Our movement's limited here, so it's most useful at the beginning here.
Yeah, we use quite a few of them here. This is just like your intro planet, and it's a lot of platforming here. So this skip right here is massive, and Z-Money also found this. So he utilized a drop jump there onto the top of that beam, and you cannot see anything. We just have a strategy. He's on top of some invisible geometry there, and he's gonna jump on a few small ledges, and he did it first try really fast. That was really amazing. So Pogs in the chat, wow, that was
Wow,
I didn't even
nice.
have time to explain. That slide, that skips saves like a minute. It skips a whole bunch of platforming, and that slide is actually still active. The cutscene trigger is inside at the end of the crawl space, so it activates the slide and spawns a Jedi fighter cutscene. And so all we have to do is grab that grate, and then it will play the cutscene.
Yeah. So story-wise, we're playing as Cal Kestis here. We're going to save our buddy Prof here. Here's another cutscene warning. But you saw that probe droid, and that spots us and notices us save our buddy here and sends a possible Jedi sighting warning to the Empire. So that's basically where our journey starts off. And we got the camera flip, nice.
Oh no. All of this takes like 10 minutes on PC, by the way.
Yeah, there's lots of cutscenes in the intro of the game, so we save probably the most time at the beginning on PS5, but there's several cutscenes throughout the game that aren't skippable, so
yeah.
Definitely comes in handy.
This
What do
split
you think
literally takes half the time on PS5 as it does on PC.
Oh my gosh. Do you think
Yeah.
that PS5 is like becoming the more popular run because of it?
For sure.
Yeah, we've definitely seen a lot more new people pop in that are have noticed the run on PS5 and are wanting to get into it.
Oh, right
Especially
on.
since PS5s are more easier to get now.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
But basically, we're just going through a little dream sequence here. We're going to have several little flashbacks and dream sequences as we learn about Cal's past and unlock more Force abilities. So here's a cutscene again. Then we're going to start a little train sequence. This is in-game, so it's normal speed for some reason. But then we'll go right back into the second half of the cutscene here.
So, as I said, the first part is platforming tutorials, and this is where we're going to get into little combat tutorials. But the train is very linear. It's a big straight line, and what we're going to just do is jump on top of the train cars and skip all the tutorials and stuff and just run to the end. But we're going to utilize a trick called a target lock jump, or short for TLJ. And what you do is you target an enemy, stand perfectly still, and jump. And then at the highest point of your jump, basically,
the
you're
camera
going to
button.
block or...
Just gonna void out.
Okay. You block or use the force ability, and it will super jump you, basically. It is frame rate dependent, so if you're playing on a PS4 base or one of the other consoles or lower FPS, 30 FPS, it's very, very difficult. And on say 144 or even 60, it's much easier. So we're just gonna do that, jump onto all these roofs, head to the end. There's a really, really cool skip coming up here where we are going to skip a huge platforming section and a short little cutscene as well.
Yeah. Some of the tutorials cause the camera to get grabbed a few times, so that's why Cal's breaking his neck trying to look backwards. He's really wanting to look at something back behind us.
Yeah, it's that first door is glitchy. So coming up here, we're going to utilize our first pause buffer clip. And what we're going to do is we're going to pause the game. You're going to go for the PPC ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So pause the game, and then on PS5 or PS4, you toggle a visual setting motion blur. This one's very difficult, but we have a backup strat. It's fine. Most people use the backup strat anyway. When you toggle one of the visual settings or performance mode, anything really for the most part, at the right frame, you will clip through solid objects, walls, cutscene triggers, you name it, you can go through it for the most part when timed properly. So that was another drop jump here onto the underbelly of the train. We're actually going to go under the train here and do another drop jump. This is a very nice backup strat here. That jump across the train is a little difficult because the geometry is not actually, it doesn't line up visually with the actual collision, so it's very common to actually fall there. And that was actually really clean. This part right here, good job, Z-Mike.
Thanks.
This part right here, we're going to do our final target lock jump on Raqqa onto the top of this train car. Normally, you walk through there and there's a little shaking animation, and then this ladder, you climb this ladder here. We're not going to do that. It plays a little cutscene that you will slide down a slide and we'll meet Seer. So let me explain this quickly. The slide is still here. So on PS5, fortunately, the hardware is fast enough. The cutscene trigger is also still here. And we're just going to slide into the cutscene trigger, and the cutscene is going to start playing. We are going to be introduced to our major characters in the game. Seer, Grease. They also they intercepted the Imperial signal, and they came to save us, basically. So here also introduce our basically
main boss, I guess.
rival. Yeah, I mean, she is Seer's former Padawan. The story, you're not going to see much story in this at all, so don't worry about spoilers.
Yeah.
But we don't see her too many times in the game, and we only fight one boss in this game, and she's not one of them, so pretty funny.
Yeah, old route we did basically skip all bosses, but since we got the new route where we skip an entire planet, we actually have to fight a boss, so it's interesting how the route has changed over time.
I guess that's the trade-off.
Yeah, we used to have one of the most broken glitches was being able to fly, but we'd have to go through one of the longer planets, Kashyyyk. But since we rerouted it, we skip Kashyyyk completely now. So now we can just...
I'm sure all the Wookiees are sad about it.
Yeah.
Can't save them. Poor Wookiees. So what we did there is a target lock jump that doesn't really seem like much, but this is, you're not supposed to get here. And it actually, there's a very large force echo there, which we're going to utilize to pick up. And they give experience, and that one gives a lot. You grab another one here. You're not supposed to be able to go this way because those walls are wall runs, and we don't have it yet, but we're gonna go get it right now. So we'll do target lock jump here, and then jump down into the hole, and grab 2 Force Echoes, or 1, 2. There we go. We got 2 skill points. 1. And we're going to do a target lock jump up to avoid a soft lock here to this conveniently located meditation circle, where we will learn our first 2 abilities, one of which we only need to get to the second one, and it is Dash Strike, which allows us to get around faster. And there are most tricks in this game are animation cancels, like a lot of them. So if you do another Dash Strike, you will when Cal's feet touch the ground, you will be able to chain them. It will interrupt the upward swing of the lightsaber, and we are coming up on another really impressive glitch. So once you enter this flashback, you actually gain the ability to wall run, and you don't have to do the actual Jarred Paul thing. So this corner here, Z-Money toggle to perform fidelity mode for 30 FPS, a little bit easier. When you do a dash strike off the ledge and hit the corner, the game will kind of do a launch, and this room, this is very common in this game, is actually located above the map. So when we hit this death plane, it will launch us up a little bit, and it on 30 FPS, it actually lands right where we need to be. It also works on 60, but it's just a little bit more reliable here. And sometimes we get the launch where we need to use a PBC because there's, as I said, there's a death plane here, as you can see, and we need to PBC through it sometimes. But this trick is very, very difficult. Both on PC and PS5, the lineup is very precise. The input timings are very precise, and especially if you're doing it on the 30 FPS on console, it's even worse. So Z-Money got it there. He had to utilize that PBC to get through the death plane, but we're landing perfectly now here, where we are going to cut some wires. There's a lot of tutorials on this, basically like the map and stuff, getting BD1, our friendly droid buddy, and this is the only thing that we actually have to do to acquire BD1 is cut those wires and get your stims, your ability to heal. And basically from here on, it's just a straight line to the temple, because like if you don't get BD1, you can't watch the cutscenes. This planet, as I said, tutorials with the map and stuff, we actually get to, we get to skip all of them with this route, which is really nice. This route has adopted over the years quite a bit. So we're going to watch this very, very long cutscene that's very, very short on PS5. And then it is going to unlock our next planet. And one more short cutscene on the way out will unlock the other planet that we need to beat the game.
Yeah, this is like a bathroom break on PC.
Yeah,
and we get done with it in
long.
like 8 seconds. But yeah, we just have to go through these cutscenes to unlock more planets, start our story basically. So that unlocked the Zepho planet, and then the next one we're going to hit will unlock Dathomir.
Z-Money, did you start running the game originally on the PC?
No, I actually saw P-Nash's run at GDQ, and that's what got me into the game. And so I started running it on PS4 Pro, and then started, glitch hunting and strat finding with P-Nash and the rest of the community, and eventually got a PS5. And someone on Reddit found this cutscene glitch, and I was able to figure out that we don't have to put the PS5 in rest mode or anything. We can just suspend it by uses of other apps and stuff. So
nice. Sounds like it all came full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is actually Cordova, who is Seer's former master. And he kind of came to Bogano here to study and learn more of the ways of the Zepho Sages and the Jedi. He was a bit of a... Ooh, there's a little strat there on that wall run where we can do some drop jumps and actually skip this vine climbing section.
Yeah.
But it's really... The wall run is janky because it's curved, so it doesn't really always work out as planned. But it's cool. It's really cool when you get it.
Yeah, I just gotta make way back to the Mantis now, and then we'll head to Zepho. But I'd say good downtime is when we're traveling to other planets. So if there's any like questions in the chat or anything you guys notice, let us know.
Yeah. Well, if chat has any questions about the run, yeah, feel free to let us know, and we can do our best to relay them to Z-Money. And I'm not sure, Panache, are you reading chat? Or
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Okay, and Panache is watching as well. But I will say that if you are enjoying this run so far, make sure you follow Z-Money and Panache here on Twitch. I will post those links in the chat, so don't be shy. Do you have a stream schedule, either of you?
Not really.
Not really.
You know what? Fair. I think I've been there.
But on ship travel, normally PC would interact with the terrarium module over there in the ship. That would interrupt conversations. But you could see the subtitles were kind of going pretty fast. That's just another part of the cutscene glitch. Things just go really fast. So we're able to load the planet pretty fast and continue on. So I'm just going to go straight to a spot where we're going to utilize another launch. The Bygana one's pretty unique because of the death planes and stuff, but here it's more of like a working with the collision to funnel us in a direction we need to go. We call it YOLO launch just because it can be a reset point if you fail it, but we can usually get it within the first try or two.
I'll take over here because Z-Money needs to focus. This is one of the hardest tricks here, especially on the PlayStation 5, because the collision tends to differ versus PC, despite the fact that it's both frame rate dependent on 60 FPS. So, as he explained, we're going to clip through this corner. Launches. So there's like a normal launch, okay? How that works is like, okay.
That was a little launch.
Sorry guys, like I'm on a little bit of a delay here. This particular corner will, if we YOLO properly, will shoot us across the map into a deloaded area. And like we saw on Baraka with the Panache skip at the end, yeah, I found that skip, so they named it after me.
Classic.
The loading trigger for the ice slide to load in is actually always active. There aren't many loading triggers like that. A lot of times the game will make you go in a linear fashion.
All right, we got it.
So Z-Money's going to swing his lightsaber there, which makes it stops your momentum, so we can land directly on the ice slide. And this is going to take us... We're going to do some jumping and blocking. First try. Here to climb the ice slide and then load into this next little area.
Climb the ice slide.
And head over to the push. Yeah, it's really on PS5. It's harder. I don't know why. So as you can see, he photo modes here. When we hit loading triggers, because we need to give the game enough time to load the map, despite the fact that we hit the trigger. Like, if you didn't photo mode or pause the game, you would just fall through. Like, but fortunately, when you pause or photo mode, the game still loads. So Z-Money's doing here an alternative strat where I got stuck at GDQ for like 3 minutes here, but a PVC through that wall. Compared to normally you would like use like the wind to kind of get out of bounds and go over the top. And we are just collecting skill points here. Here's another launch Z-Money was attempting. It's a little difficult on the 60 FPS on the PS5. We're gonna do a target lock jump here. to go directly to the elevator. This is going to take us down to the tomb where we're going to go straight to push. And we need to activate the elevator in order for the bottom area where the temple is located to load. So we're going to do another PBC as the elevator is going downwards, and we're going to land basically in an area that just skips everything. And our push flashback is behind a couple doors here that obviously aren't an issue, as you can see.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, PBCs are definitely useful. Oh, we got a weird.
D-Money's gonna... Why don't you explain this since you're really good at this glitch?
It's involving the collision of the slope is really weird. So you can usually just do a dodge and a jump, and it'll push you through pretty.
Yeah, there's like
easily.
two walls here. So he's getting inside the first wall, and then the game pushes you through if you get the right kind of inputs, which puts us on the other side where we interact here, and we're gonna get pushed. And that was really nice.
Now we get bullied by those rocks real quick, and then now we just have to force push this ball a few times, and then we'll officially have learned force push.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't skip this. We need to get force push because Bogano changes from Bogano 1 to Bogano 2, where we are going to place our Astrium in order to enter the Zepho Sage flashback and actually acquire the Jedi Holocron that we need to finish the game. And push is the flag that turns Bogano 1 into Bogano 2 and gives us the little interact prompt where we can actually put it in. Otherwise, the objective doesn't change. So Z-Money's going to do another launch here. This one's really, really difficult, and he gets it first try.
That's
Beautiful.
a bad jump.
The collision there is a little difficult because you can't see where he's jumping onto, so it can be
It's fine. We'll
annoying.
just do it again.
Yep. First he Kenny Glitch named himself Huge Flat. I forgot to mention it.
Of course, now it's deciding not to work for me. Hitting the wind chime thing there.
Yeah, sometimes you hit this wind chime here and it just sends you in completely random directions. The inputs with launches matter as well as the FPS. So Z-Money does some very specific inputs there with the camera and with his left stick on the controller. You actually control the height and distance of the launch.
Yeah, there's no way up, so we just have to ride it slowly up. As fast as it'll take us up.
Big iron.
Yep. Yeah, if we have time, we might show off a glitch involving this. It was named Big Iron by the glitch hunter that found it. But we'll go over an airwalk glitch here and the next planet.
Shout out to Coach Beck.
Yeah.
Would y'all say that the community for Fallen Order is pretty big now, or
I'd still say it's pretty small, but
pretty small? Yeah, I'm curious because this is such a cool looking run. Like I figured everyone would be all over it.
yeah.
It's been like probably medium sized, but it's everyone. It's all a bunch of cool people. Very chill.
Yeah, it sounds like everyone's making contributions. We've got a lot of named glitches.
Yeah.
I like to see that.
We we are going to grab one other thing before we head to Dathomir. It's an upgrade for BD1. It's a Scomp link that's makes it easier to open doors and stuff rather than PVC through them. Some doors are a lot thicker and it's just harder to PVC through them reliably.
Yeah, there's one door at the end of the game that we need to get through, and potential for major time loss there. So this takes like 30 seconds or less. It's pretty much worth the detour to kind of grab it, speed up the cutscene thingy, and then we're just going to do another target jump back through the hole where we came.
All right.
So he's going to have to jump there to acquire the target.
Didn't lose it, so we're good. It's very
And I
hard to
think we
get out of
learned.
there.
Yeah, it's annoying. I think we learned the long extended dash at the top of the elevator. That is the only other skill that we will learn in this run. It just makes us go faster. That little PVC, sometimes PVC's in there. I mean, PVC's like kind of like, it's basically when Z-Money glitch-ons, he just tries PVCing pretty much everything.
Yeah.
And sometimes it ends up really
Just,
really
I wonder
interesting.
what would happen if we PVC'd this.
Yeah. A nice door there.
Yeah,
Door
we
strat.
got lucky.
4%. Yeah.
Can be RNG there. Sometimes enemies can shoot you before you fully do the open door animation, so
Again, just backtracking here through the village to the spot where we would normally fight a boss, the ATST. But there is a cutscene when you kill the boss, and even though the cutscenes are sped up, the PVC that we're going to use to get inside the Mantis is worth it because it's faster. We will get in combat here, and we will do a target lock jump to get on top of the Mantis, and then we will PVC inside, and we'll just be able to leave the planet and go to Dathomir. You want to go to Dathomir?
If we gotta.
all right. It's usually easier to back dodge and then do a dash in. There we go. All right. Zepho also has force pull, but the way the devs intended you to play through the game is visiting a lot of these planets twice, needing certain abilities to go to certain areas. So you'd have to go to Kashyyyk to get certain item, to come back to Zepho to bypass certain doors and get to another ability. But yeah, all we really need is force push, and that's it really. And wall run. All right.
Yeah, this is a really nice run.
Yeah, so Dathomir is pretty interesting. There's a lot of manipulation of loading triggers, lots of PVCs, and
A lot.
yeah, so I'll try to focus and do my best as Pinash kind of briefly explains what I'm doing, but basically we're gonna trigger one of the flashbacks, and this is one of the final ones you're supposed to do for Order 66. And we found that you can trigger the flashback by just going into the temple of Dathomir, and then still be able to hit the last module of it from out of bounds.
We're just saving a little bit of time there with the corner jump, and making our way to that. This plan is gonna blow your mind, chat. It's gonna be really. I'm gonna explain here. On PC, we normally PVC through that, but it's just, you have to do it like 3 times, and it's just faster just to watch it on PS5. So there's a lot of loading triggers here that we need to PVC through. So right here, we're gonna PVC through loading trigger that spawns enemies, as well as the old man, also known as Terran Malicos, former Jedi. And he's gonna, well, he won't be there now, but this is the introduction to him. And this right here is the bane of all our existences. This is very, for some reason, it just doesn't work sometimes. Trying to grab that ledge. Okay, so that is the game's check of you need Jedi flip to get across here. But if you, similar to doing a dash strike chain dash with the animation canceling when Cal's feet touch the ground again, it's a very specific for this jump cancel. It's a very specific button press sensitivity and timing. So it's got to be in a specific spot. It's really a nightmare. So we will grab that ledge, I assure you.
So close.
And make our way up to the temple here. As Z-Money mentioned, we are going to attempt to PVC through the little trigger that spawns the door closing. And that will save us a lot of time. We're going to have to do it a few times, but on the way in and out.
There
Josh,
it
can you
is.
explain the acronym again?
The PVC?
Yeah.
So it's traditionally stands for pause buffer clipping. On PC, it works. You just press F11 and it lags the game. It's basically generating lag, so we can clip through solid objects or cutscene triggers. And on console, as you can see, he toggles motion blur. And so what he just did right there, he hit the loading trigger for our next sequence here. But PPC is generally just generating enough lag to clip through stuff. And it's also hardware dependent. It's one of those things like Elden Ring zips. Not to that extent, but yeah.
Right.
So we're gonna PBC again here to prevent the lower area of the map from despawning. If you look down, you can see it's loaded in, and we're gonna need. It's a little bit of a different strategy than PC uses, because they can just go initiate an airwalk from that meditation circle, but we have to do it differently here. So we're making our way again. Order 66 is actually inside Dathomir, and the loading trigger that we would normally enter Order 66 with flying and fly into is conveniently located right here, and we can hit it with a falling dash strike.
Got it.
Money's going to first try. Wow, that is a run killer. You there is a hallway there, and if you land in the hallway, you got to curve a little bit to the right, as Z-Money did there perfectly. And if you land in the hallway, the game counts that as solid ground, and it's going to respawn you after you void out. It's going to respawn you in that hallway forever. So you're going to have to reset and do everything again, or just, F the run.
Yeah, that's basically.
But if you look to the
we did
left... Yeah, if you look to the left here, there's Raka.
Oh, nice. Got trolled.
Nice. Oh, no.
Spiders.
Do the launch. Oh, man, I can't wait for Planet Fusion. So you can also do a little target lock jump up here. Get back to where we want to go. So now that we hit that loading trigger, that loaded the final part of Order 66, which... In order to... Okay, so Z-Money's going to do a PVC through this death lane to get to this area where we were talking about earlier. and initiate an airwalk on this meditation circle by blocking, holding block, and pressing force slow and interacting at the same time while in the slowing animation.
Yeah.
So as long as he's holding block here, he is going to... I want to watch and see. Okay. When he lets go of block, the game thinks he's still meditating. So Cal will walk back to the meditation circle. And that's why we call it an airwalk. So behind this porch, as you can see, is the final area of Order 66. And the only thing we need to do in Order 66 to progress to Dathomir 2, as it would normally be, is watch this cutscene. And so now that the airwalk, basically when a cutscene starts, the airwalk ends, and Z-Money is going to teleport back to that meditation circle, taking us out of that flashback. Normally your lightsaber would break and you had to go to Ilum and stuff. So now we're making our way back to the temple, and we are going to do a meditate. And when you go into either meditation training or you quit out of the game, it actually loads the area around. So it's going to load the second half of Dathomir where Baron Malicos is located, the only boss that we're going to need to fight here. And unfortunately, in story mode, he tends to be kind of a pain because he's just stands there. And actually, one of our runners, well, it was a collaboration of several runners, found a story mode strategy where we can actually stun lock the boss. Very nice cancel there.
Didn't take us
And
long.
also here, we don't need those Knight Brothers because the game thinks that we did Order 66, so it gives us the climbing clause. We just climb that wall. So we're going to do another PVC here through that door so it doesn't close. And then there's another trigger that will actually close the door. Or no? You don't have to do it there, I guess?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the fake door, right?
Yeah.
Right. This is new. One of our, we had a PS5 runner who's an amazing glitch hunter, Speed Idol, and he found all sorts of crazy stuff that we never thought was possible. And we were like, huh? So Z-Money's gonna meditate here, go into med training, and it's gonna load second part of Dathomir. And there's that wall we just interacted with is a thick boy. So we're gonna have to PVC through it, and we're actually gonna utilize our first PlayStation home screen PVC, which, as I touched on earlier, PVCs are just lag. So if you do the same method, toggle your motion blur, pause the game, proper lineup, proper frames, go back to the home screen, it generates just enough lag to get through this door. This is a ridiculous door. So big GG's there. This crawl space is just faster to just watch this cutscene on PS5 because the other PC strategy is kind of sketch. The loading trigger for Malicos to actually spawn in that arena, as you can see, is inside the crawl space. So we have to do all kinds of wonky PVCs to go out of bounds and then hit the trigger and then get back in bounds. Anything else you want to add, Z-Money, or any questions in the chat?
Well, right now everyone is just kind of in awe of the run.
Yeah,
I've gotten a
right?
couple of comments like, "This is most recently this is a wild run," and I have to agree.
Yeah.
I think it's really fun to see Cal zipping all over the place. So you're doing a really great job, Z-Money. I wonder, was it very tough to learn the run? Like, how long did it take you to get the knowledge to do a run?
I'd say it's about medium difficulty as far as learning. It's not too bad,
Nice.
but I was helping find strats as I was going, kind of thing. So
Right. I think.
So I like helping new runners though, and I think some new runners pick it up really easily, and others
Oh, that was
struggle
nice.
with certain things like TLJs or launches. But we have lots of like alternate strats that don't lose as much time as doing the fastest strats. So we're getting pranked by these rocks here.
Rocks.
Remind me again, who is this boss?
This is Malicos. He is a former Jedi that
Former Jedi.
fell to the dark side by being on Dathomir too long.
Oh no, that'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came here and he wants to convert Cal, and Cal wants to rebuild the Jedi Order, and Malicos wants the opposite. And he's basically there. He tricked Marin, as we saw right there, that who is like the only Night Sister that survived the Purge when General Grievous came and killed everyone. So Malicos is kind of manipulating her to tell her that the Jedi are bad, and they were the ones who came and killed her sisters, and he's in control of the Night Brothers. So he is our nemesis.
Well, yeah, since we defeated him, we kind of gained Marin's trust, and she's going to join us on our journey now.
Exactly.
What we got there
Basically,
was the Astrium, and we're going to use that to unlock the Bogano vault to get the holocron. And that contains, Force-sensitive children locations and stuff, so we're trying to keep that away from the Empire. I quit out there because it actually opens that doorway PVC'd through on our way in, so makes it a lot easier to leave and head back to the Mantis. All right.
Oh, so yeah, that cutscene that zoomed by in the crawl space actually introduces Marin and Cal actually becoming gaining her trust and becoming allies there. As you saw that Marin comes and helps during the Malicos fight, and then she traps him underground.
Yeah, for the most part, that's
as you
the
can
only
see-
time we really get help from companions.
Yeah.
But that's hopefully going to change in Survivor on some of the gameplay trailers we saw.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Oh yeah, are the two of you excited for Jedi Survivor?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like 1 month out today, I think.
Oh, wow.
Spam chat with your favorite emo if you're hyped for Survivor.
I bet the community is going to go wild with that one, starting the glitch hunts as soon as it drops.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we accomplished our goal. We retrieved the Astrium. We completed Order 66. We have surpassed the game's checks, and we are going to head to Bogano again, and we're going to put the Astrium inside, as I mentioned earlier, in the interact spot, which is going to unlock a Zepho Sage vision that Cal will have, very similar to Rey's your interaction in Rise of Skywalker. What is even? I think
it was Last Jedi.
Last Jedi.
Who can keep them
Maybe.
straight, really?
The OGs are the real movies.
But yeah, it's just kind of Cal confronting like the possible goods and bads of what he will do if he gets the holocron. It's mostly just normal pathing, but we're going to try to speed it up as much as possible with PVCs and TLJs on the way there. Yeah, we just got this planet and the last planet, so we're coming down to it.
I think actually, since we were talking about it, that the last Rise of Skywalker was probably the last movie I saw in theaters, and
Oh, yeah.
I just have to laugh about it now.
Yeah, same, almost, pretty much. I've only seen it once.
That's too many times for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, I just see the memes that come out of it now. Might be one of those things that ages well, like the prequels. Just memes all the time about prequels.
Yes.
So give it time.
We
maybe.
can only hope. Yeah.
All right. So now we're just gonna head straight to the Bogano Vault there. Maybe I'll try the launch one time. There's a launch here.
Yeah,
you can
there's.
get.
And kind of launch yourself to the right a little bit, but it's another YOLO kind of thing.
Yeah.
With the control sticks and camera angles. But we're just gonna do this TLJ here on this underground bog rat. Straight line here to the temple, Bunny said. Star Wars, never heard of it. Doesn't sound very good. Doubt I'll catch it on. Play as Marin at some point. We see her helping in the story trailer that actually didn't give us any information about the story at all, but
That'd be interesting. They pull like a Santa Monica or a Naughty Dog where they're just halfway through you're playing as a different character.
oh no, please.
Could be cool if executed right. They did it really well with like Last of Us and God of War.
So here we're interacting with our mirror, which will take us into the Zepho Sage area that Cordova was spending his devoting his life to basically this.
Yeah. So there's just lots of little things we have to go through. This, only the last holocron we interact with is, or the second one, I guess, technically, is the one that matters for triggering the cutscene. There's another one in the vault only in this dream sequence thing that starts a boss fight. Oops. Jump cow. There you go.
Yeah, thanks for everyone in the chat for being here and watching, as Smooth said.
Yeah, and thank you both for being here. This has been a really cool run to watch. I'm glad we were able to get you both here on the show.
Yeah.
I mean, thank you so much for having us.
Great casual game. Great speedrun as well. Definitely good casually with sound. I'd recommend it highly.
For sure.
Do you miss the sound sometimes?
It's like
Yeah.
there's pros and cons to it for sure, but I feel like I appreciate the sound more when I go back to it. Like I notice all these tiny sound details that I didn't really pay attention to before.
Personally, yeah, like I had a hard time because I, as a speedrunner, use audio cues for things way more than visual. So it was hard for me to adapt, especially on the PS5. It feels way different than PC because I was running on PC until we found the cutscene glitch, basically.
Oh, and then that's when you switched.
Yeah. I need a new, my PB on PC is like 0-year-old, but I don't want to watch the cutscenes.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot. It takes up a lot of your time. And even in a 1 hour plus run, that's a lot. Like, that's impressive. It's hard to sit down and just go.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I suppose if you're watching cutscenes, maybe you can get up for a while.
Yeah, that was the nice thing about it, actually.
Yeah.
Actually, the PC run now is down to like sub 1 hour 20 minute, and when I started running the game when it came out, we couldn't fly. That was added in the May 4th patch the following year, but the run was my first one was 4 hours or something.
I mean, progress has been made, it sounds
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, but it was several hours. The world record was around 3 hours.
Yeah, I've been into like speedrunning for a while, but I remember looking at the speedrun time for this game when it was first starting out, and I was like 3.5 hours, over 3 hours. I was like, I don't think I want to do that. Then I saw P-Nash's run. I was like, oh, now it's down to under 2 hours and stuff. So
Like, more doable
Yeah.
like this.
definitely
Now,
more
is this
interesting.
your main?
What was that?
I don't know what that was. I was just running directly into the wall.
See something new every day in this game.
Cal's just going for it at this point.
Yeah.
I think he's been like brute forcing his way through a couple of these obstacles. I was going to ask though, is this the main speed game for both of you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, we glitch on a lot as well in other games and stuff. But yeah, this is the only game that I run.
Right on.
Yeah, we've also, me and P-Nash have both done Kana Bridge of Spirits as well. That's a pretty,
Oh yeah,
pretty
yeah, I
fun
forgot
game.
about that. Yeah, that was
Cool.
fun until we broke it too much, and then it was really, really difficult strat that kind of, you know how it is.
And you just haven't gone back to it. I see.
Yeah, I want to go back
It's-
because there's like a new game plus kind of thing on it now, so could be a faster kind of time you could get.
Oh yeah, could be.
All right,
So
so
that cutscene unlocked our final planet near it. Go ahead, Z-Money.
yeah, so now we're just heading to the final planet. We're gonna see the consequences of not going to Kashyyyk now because we didn't get the underwater rebreather, and Nurse starts underwater, so Cal's gonna be constantly trying to be forced to the surface of the water. So it kind of has an awkward strat we have to do to clip out of bounds. But once we load in here for the cutscene, I'm gonna quit out just to kind of reset how Cal behaves in the water a bit. But we'll still have like a disconnected camera. It'll be kind of weird, but there's a process.
We just have to trust the
Yeah.
process.
Trust that I'm not blindly doing it. I kind of am blindly doing it, but I know kind of where I'm at. So it just
As long
works.
as you've got enough. Yeah.
So yeah, the camera is detached and we're being forced upwards to the surface of the water, which is basically where the geometry of the coral reef here. And there is actually a really, really old strat they used to use here, and this is basically the same thing. We just can't see it, so we're doing it blind. We need to clip through this coral reef, and it's a little tricky sometimes, but there are some strats that are somewhat consistent. There is a big barrier there, and you can possibly go out the wrong side. And
I think we're good. Yeah, we're through.
looks like we are out, and Cal will be slowly swimming up, and the camera will be really glitchy. You'll see him soon. He's very, very small. There he
is.
There he is. And we're gonna swim around the backside of the reef and get on top of it, and then use those invisible walls to get to the part where you would normally fight stuff. There's a underwater building, and then we're gonna go on top of it.
Yeah, Nur used to have. It's actually a pretty new strat. It's one I used to do, but we found an easier way to do it. But it used to be kind of a run killer here, because if you hit the loading trigger and void out without landing on solid ground again, you kind of soft lock your file. But we should be fine.
Yeah,
with
this
new
is
strat.
really cool. It's a really, really cool strat here.
Yeah, it's really funny that it's the only loading trigger that works with photo mode. You can hit. This is the only one you can hit with your photo mode camera that will load the next section. Everything else has to be Cal physically like in the spot.
Yeah, you can actually just use the camera's hitbox, because the camera has like a hitbox or whatever, to make the trigger load in. So if you played this casually, obviously, you have to fight a bunch of stuff, but we get stuck in combat here. Someone earlier mentioned what difficulty this is. We do play on story mode, because as you can see, we regenerate force in combat, and that's the only difficulty that does that. So obviously it's the fastest. So Z-Money here is going to turn his camera around and do some weird shenanigans with photo mode. The loading trigger is right under that. Great, we hit it. So on PC, you could take a screenshot, but the UI, we just skipped everything on the planet, by the way. The UI on PS5, PS4 still has the actual, you press X to take a screenshot, but it doesn't do anything. And it kind of shoots the camera forward sometimes, just enough to hit that trigger. So we skipped everything. We skipped the dojo and all of the difficult combat and all that. We'll activate these bridges because we can't fly, and that's the door there for the final boss.
Yeah, and this is why we got Scomp Link, just because it is an easier strat to do an airwalk here.
Yeah.
Wasn't holding block, so I'm just gonna have to get.
So BD1, we need BD1. Normally when you airwalk, BD1 like gets stuck at the meditation circle, but BD1 is over there looking for that scan. So we need him to be there when we initiate the airwalk, because then he'll come to unlock the Scomp door for us, because he won't do it if we don't do this way. You won't be able to interact. So we'll open this door and do, there's a loading trigger. If you look at the top right, there's a pipe. And when the pipe appears, the outside will change. And as if we had killed the boss. It's going to look a little glitchy. But the geometry is still there, and we can still make our way to the turbo lift, which is the final sequence of the game. And PC runners, unfortunately, sometimes you fall through the elevator, die. Don't really know why, but there's a little way we can get around it. This jump right here is a little sketch, super late jump. You, at any point, if you fall here, you die.
Yeah, you have to redo that
dead.
strat.
You have to yeah.
And there's Mr. Vader.
So we're coming up on our time here at the top of the elevator, where you're gonna chain dash down a hallway, interact with the doorway, and then once our lightsaber penetrates Darth Vader, that will be time. And Z-Money will call it out.
Yeah. Yeah, we just have to do some chain dashes down a hallway. And then BD's going to help us take down Vader.
Let's go.
We also have QTEs disabled. Normally, there would be QTE here, press buttons and stuff, but they added a feature in that May 4th patch where you can disable them, which is nice.
Yeah. All right, and that is time.
GG.
Very nice run.
Yeah, what a cool speed run. I had a blast watching that. Thank you so much, Z-Money and Panache, for being here. Do you have any shout outs or comments that you want to give?
Just thanks for having us. Shout outs to GDQ, you reaching out to do this time capsule run, and the JFO community, you know.
Yeah.
What about you, Panache?
Do we want to do our exhibition of High Vision?
I almost forgot.
I will do shout outs. Shout out obviously to GDQ. Thank you so much for having us. Thanks to Smooth for doing an amazing job, our awesome host.
Oh, thank you.
Shout out to Z-Money for making all of this speed tech possible.
Yes.
Shout out to the Fallen Order speedrunning community and our amazing glitch hunters and community members. And if you guys are interested in seeing some more awesome content, check out Z Money and my YouTube, Twitch channel, same names. And feel free to just stop by speedrun.com/JFO and join our Discord. And shout out to everyone in chat, and thanks for watching.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. But it looks
So-
like the fun hasn't stopped exactly yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a really interesting glitch. We knew
you
that
explain
these
this.
were possible, but we didn't have a way to activate them whenever we wanted. But a newer runner that started running on PS5, Coach, he figured out ways to do this. So he calls this big iron. When you're putting your saber away, if you dodge and block, it'll stay on your hip but still be ignited. And this actually allows us to airwalk things inside the mantis. And what we're going to do with this is confuse the game into thinking we want to travel to a planet while staying on the one we're on currently. So we're going to overlap Zepho and Dathomir. We call it planet fusion. So it's really a really interesting glitch, but we haven't figured out a way for it to work really in the any percent run. It's just a lot of loading triggers overlapping and death planes you can hit from other planets. So it's it can definitely be a pain to get through. But what I did was I just airwalked the med circle as well as the hollow map, and I'm just going to come over here in this corner and then activate the airwalk, and then it's going to let me select a planet. And so I'll just select Dathomir. And then I'm going to dash to the other med spot over in the corner there, and it will the planet will deload and the shenanigans will begin.
Cal's shaking his head like, I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, the reason we like go against solid object is it'll break that airwalk sequence much quicker. Otherwise, he's gonna literally walk to where you initiated it. Yeah. So you're gonna see the planet despawn there, and once we get back into the game, the mantis is gonna be here. We're still gonna be on Zepho, but we're gonna have a weird hyperspace animation. And our cockpit chair is going to be ready, and the game is going to bring Zepho with us to Dathomir.
Yeah, so it pulls the mantis out of hyperspace, but you can still see like the hyperspace effect going on in the sky.
Oh my gosh.
It's really wild.
I'll say.
And we've tried overlapping 3 planets, but the game crashes, so... But yeah, once we sit down, it's going to keep Zepho loaded, but bring us into Dathomir and load it into that landing pad on Dathomir. And it's really wild just seeing all these things like overlapping on top of each other. And we can actually still hit loading triggers for both planets. And until we quit out or die, it won't go away. But we were thinking about like routing strategies of like maybe we could overlap these 2 planets and then go get force push and then immediately go into Dathomir, clipping through, walls and collision and stuff. But it's just
this is so weird.
So wild being able to see both of these on top of each other. And then there was a launch spot that I can do here. Let's see if I can get it. Oh, I overshot it a bit. Can I clip back in? Oh. But yeah, you can land in that tunnel and then go straight up to force push and stuff. But that's basically it.
Wow, I feel like you'll have to do a lot more testing to figure this one out, but it seems cool. Like maybe we could do something with it in the future.
Yeah, it seems like there's got to be potential with it. We just haven't cracked the code with it yet.
Listen, there might be a bounty in it for you if you can figure out this one.
Possibly, yeah, for sure.
It's possible. It's just the thing is, it's just that like it's not optimized fully, so we don't really know if it's actually worth doing, like if it's faster or if it's about the same time.
Right.
Yeah, the setup takes
But-
like a minute and a half or so. So it would have to be
But
a
it's
really good
definitely cool.
optimization.
Yeah, it's definitely cool. Thanks very much for showing that off. Was there anything else that you had in mind, or are we good to wrap tonight's show up?
I think we're good.
All right. Well, thank you both again so much for being here. That is going to wrap it up for tonight's episode of Time Capsule. I have been your host, Smooth Operative. If you enjoyed the show, please make sure you follow our runners again. I'll post them. Sorry, our runner and our commentator. I will post Z Money Train's Twitch channel as well as Panash's in the chat. And if you'd like to get in touch with me about Time Capsule, have any questions or anything, you can always find me at twitch.tv/smoothoperative. If you are watching this on YouTube from the future, be sure to press the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you're interested in catching our shows live, check us out, twitch.tv/gamesdonequick. We start our shows weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern and weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern. Tune in tomorrow for How to Train a Speedrunner, followed by Speedruns from the Crypt. That all starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. Have a beautiful day or night, everyone, and we will see you next time. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.